Hi, my name is Beth Massi and welcome to the Windows Forms over Data video series. In this next video, I'm going to show you how we can create local reports using the Report Viewer control that comes with Visual Studio 2005. I have Visual Studio open here with a Windows Forms application created, and I've got a form. I've also got a connection to a Northwind database on SQL Server. I've created a data set. All I did was drag customers from the Server Explorer, and this is called the Database Explorer in VB Express, and I just dragged that onto the surface of my data set. So I want to create a report that shows my customers and all of the orders that they have. So what I need to do is I'm going to augment this table by right-clicking and selecting Configure, and we're going to configure the select statement. So I'm going to open up the Query Builder by clicking on the Query Builder button. Then I'm just going to right-click, select Add Table, and I'm just going to select the orders. I'll double-click on Orders and then click Close. And so in addition to all of the customer fields, I also want to bring in the order date, the required date, and the ship date. Okay, so this will just bring in one result set from the database. And click OK, and then click Finish. So the next thing I'm also going to do is I'm going to remove the key here, so we're just going to say delete key. Okay, that way if we have multiple orders per customer, we won't get any constraint exceptions. Okay, so now I'm just going to click Save to save our data set, and then we'll go back to our form. So now I'm going to open up the toolbox, and the Report Viewer control is contained in the Data tab, and you'll see Report Viewer. So I'm just going to drag the Report Viewer control onto our form, and then from the Smart tag, I'll just dock and parent container. Okay, so now it allows us to also choose a report, but since I don't have any reports, I'm going to select a new report, design a new report. Okay, and this will open up the report designer. So I'm just going to get this out of the way so we have a little more room here. So this is the report designer, and it allows us to create the layout and basically drag items from our toolbox and field lists and drop them here. So the first control I'm going to drag is a list, and this will basically allow us to display a list of items. So we're going to have a list of customers and their order details underneath. Now we can go over to the data source window and we'll see our data set here. And we can expand customers, and here are all the fields we're pulling from the database. So I'm going to just drag the customer ID, the company name, and the contact name onto our report. Okay, and then what we want to do is we want to add a table of our orders underneath each customer. Okay, so I'm going to go back to the toolbox, and I'm going to drag a table into this list control. Okay, so this is a header, detail, and footer, so this allows us to have basically a table that has a header like the column names, and then the details, meaning the details of our customer. In this case it will be orders. So it's very simple. We're just going to go back to the data set here, and I'll drag in the order date. You'll notice into the detail, into the middle row here, and it'll automatically populate the header with the order date label, which is really nice. And then required date, same thing, and then the ship date. Okay, and so we can also format this a little bit differently so it looks different. I'll just set the background color equal to, say, purple. Okay, so I also want to format these fields here, these date fields. So I'm just going to select the whole row, then go to Properties. And I don't want to display any time, so I'm just going to have a format of D, so that's the short date format. And I'm going to text align these all to the left. Okay? So that's how we can do some simple formatting on these fields. Now in order for it to display properly, the groups to display properly, what we need to do is we need to right-click into the list properties and select Properties here. And then we're going to edit Details Group. Now what we need to do is we need to group on the customer ID. So I'm going to select customer ID here and click OK. We can also set up the sorting so that I can sort by the customer. So I'm going to just sort by the customer ID here, ascending. Click OK. Now I want to sort the order dates by order date descending. So I'm going to go back into the table properties. I'm going to right click in this table select properties, and this will be the table properties, and then we can go ahead to sorting, and I'll be able to select order date, and this time I want to go descending, and select OK. Okay, so now we're going to go back to our form, and we're going to drop this smart tag down, and you'll see choose a report, and now we can choose the report we just created. Okay, so let's go ahead and run it. We'll hit F5 and see what our report looks like. Okay, so you'll notice that we've got all of the orders in reverse chronological order here for each customer. So we've grouped by the customer ID. So now you can see all of the customers here in Northwind. So we have 23 pages of this report. So what if I wanted, though, each customer to be on their own page? So let's go ahead and insert a break between each of these customers. So I'm going to go back to the report. Then we're going to right-click on the list properties. And then we're going to go back into Edit Details group, and you'll see Page Break at End. Now there's also another thing that we can add to help navigation. It's called the document map. And so what we can do is we can go ahead, say by customer ID, or even by, let's see, contact name, we can navigate easily through the report. So let's go ahead and click OK. OK. And let's run it one more time. Hit F5. So now you can see that we've got exactly one customer per page. As I scroll through each page, there's only one customer on each page. And I have this thing called a document map. So I can go ahead and jump to any contact easily. So any customer here. So this allows us to easily navigate our report. So that's really how easy it can be to add reports to our applications. So I'd like to thank you for your time. If you'd like to check out the Visual Basic Developer Center, we'll be posting updates to these videos there. Please also check out the Visual Basic team blog and my blog for more information. Thanks again.